You do not have a memory problem. You have a retrieval architecture problem. Every time you highlight a sentence, reread a chapter, or review your notes the night before a presentation, you are using a study method that neuroscience confirmed to be largely ineffective 40 years ago. By the end of this video, you will have a 5-minute daily protocol grounded in peer-reviewed cognitive science that doubles your long-term retention of everything you read, hear, and learn starting today. This is Growth Daily. Every video here is a performance briefing. No fluff, no motivational padding, just the research translated into a system you can deploy the same day. Today's briefing covers the neuroscience of memory encoding and retrieval. You will get 4 mechanisms that explain why your current approach to learning is leaking information, and then a precise protocol to fix it. The research behind this has been sitting in cognitive psychology journals since the 1980s. The reason most professionals have never heard of it comes down to one thing, and that is what the 4th point in this video will answer. Here is the problem that is costing you more than you realize. The average knowledge worker consumes roughly 5 hours of information per week: books, articles, podcasts, training sessions, meetings. Studies from the University of Waterloo show that without deliberate retention strategies, the human brain forgets approximately 50% of new information within 24 hours and up to 80% within 48 hours. That means 4 out of every 5 hours you invest in learning are producing near zero long-term return. For a professional whose career advancement depends on accumulated knowledge and intellectual edge, that is not a minor inefficiency. That is a compounding loss that widens the gap between where you are and where you intend to be. The fix is not effort. The fix is architecture. Point 1. The forgetting curve tax. In 1885, German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus mapped exactly how memory decays over time. His forgetting curve showed that the brain does not lose information at a steady rate. It loses it exponentially. The steepest drop happens in the first hour. By the time you commute home from a workshop or close a browser tab on an article, the majority of the specific details are already gone. What remains are vague impressions, not usable knowledge. The professional performance consequence of this is direct. When you cannot retrieve what you learned in a conversation, a pitch, a proposal, or a decision, your expertise becomes invisible. You paid the time cost of learning, but you are not collecting the career return. The reason passive review methods like rereading and highlighting fail is that they do not force the brain to reconstruct the information. They create familiarity, not memory. Familiarity feels like learning. It is not. The takeaway here is a reframe. Every time you reread something to remember it, you are choosing the least efficient retrieval path available to you. The brain needs to be forced to reach, not handed information again. Rereading a chapter gives you 14% better retention. Testing yourself on it gives you 50% better retention. Same material, same time investment, completely different architecture. Point 2. The spacing effect protocol. Cognitive psychologist Robert Bjork at UCLA has spent decades studying what he calls desirable difficulties, the conditions under which the brain encodes memory most durably. The single most powerful of those conditions is spaced retrieval, reviewing information at increasing intervals over time rather than reviewing it repeatedly in one session. The neuroscience behind this is straightforward. Each time you retrieve a memory after a delay, the act of retrieval itself strengthens the neural pathway. The longer the gap before retrieval, within reason, the stronger the consolidation. This is why cramming fails at the professional level. When you review everything in one block the night before, you are not building a retrievable memory. You are temporarily refreshing a signal that will decay within days. The professional performance consequence is significant. Decisions, negotiations, and high-stakes presentations require on-demand access to accurate knowledge. Professionals who use spaced retrieval report stronger recall under pressure, because the retrieval pathway has been physically reinforced through repetition over time, not the day before. The actionable takeaway: after learning something, schedule 3 retrieval moments, one at 24 hours, one at 72 hours, and one at 7 days. This does not require a sophisticated app. A simple calendar reminder with one prompt, "What were the 3 key ideas from that article?" is sufficient to trigger the effect. Students who used spaced retrieval over a 2-week period outperformed mass study students by 200% on a retention test 1 month later, and the spaced group spent less total study time. Point 3. Desirable difficulty encoding. This is where the protocol gets counterintuitive in a way that most professionals resist initially. Bjork's research introduced the concept of desirable difficulties. The idea that introducing friction into the learning process actually improves long-term retention, even though it makes the learning feel harder in the moment. The most important example of this is generation effect. When you are forced to generate an answer from memory before checking the correct answer, your brain encodes the information more deeply than if you simply read it. The reason is neurological. The act of retrieval, even a failed retrieval attempt, activates the hippocampus and forces the brain to reconstruct the memory pathway, strengthening the synaptic connection in the process. For professionals, the practical translation is this: before you reread your notes from a meeting or a book, spend 90 seconds writing down everything you can already recall without looking. This is not a test. It is a priming mechanism. Research from Washington University shows this pre-recall step improves subsequent retention by up to 40% compared to reviewing notes directly. The professional performance consequence. In a world where competitive advantage increasingly comes from applied knowledge rather than credentials, the professional who can retrieve and apply information accurately in the moment, in a client call, in a strategic discussion, holds measurable edge over the professional who simply consumed the same information without this architecture. A 2011 study in Science found that students who used retrieval practice retained 50% more information 1 week later than students who reread the same material 4 times. 4 rereads, still lost to 1 retrieval attempt. Point 4. The consolidation window. And this is the answer to the question opened at the start of this video. Why has research that has been confirmed for 4 decades still not reached most professionals? The consolidation window refers to the 4 to 6 hour period following new learning, during which the brain is most actively encoding that information into long-term memory. During this window, the hippocampus is replaying and transferring the day's information to the neocortex for durable storage. This process is disrupted by 2 things that are extremely common in professional environments: context switching, jumping immediately from one task or input to the next, and information overload, consuming new content immediately after learning something you want to retain. What this means in practice: every time you attend a training session, read a chapter, or sit through a knowledge-dense meeting, and then immediately open your email, check your phone, or consume more content, you are actively interfering with the consolidation of what you just learned. The performance cost is not abstract. It means the meeting you just had, the article you just finished, the book chapter you just read, all of it is competing for storage space. It will largely lose. The protocol that resolves this is the consolidation close. At the end of each focused learning session, or at a fixed point at the end of your workday, take 5 minutes to do 3 things. Write down the 3 most important ideas from what you learned. Write one specific way you will apply one of them, and then close all inputs for at least 15 minutes. No new content, no email, just low stimulus activity. A walk, water, silence. This 5-minute practice, applied consistently, is the single most evidence-supported action you can take to transform consumed information into retrievable, applicable knowledge. And that is the exact reason this research never became mainstream. It requires doing less, not more. And that is a harder sell than a 10-step productivity system. Here's your comment prompt, and notice that writing it out is itself a retrieval practice moment. Drop in the comments the single most important idea from this video that you are going to apply today. Not a general statement, a specific action. Writing it will encode it. Reading other people's answers will reinforce your own. That is the protocol working in real time. If this briefing gave you one system you can deploy today, the next video on this channel will give you another one. Next up, the decision fatigue protocol. Why your cognitive performance degrades measurably by early afternoon, regardless of how much sleep you got, and the specific 8-minute morning architecture that protects your high-stakes thinking for the full day. Subscribe to Growth Daily so that video comes directly to you. Every upload here follows the same format. One peer-reviewed mechanism, one professional performance consequence, one same-day protocol. No padding, no 10-step routines, just the lever that actually moves the needle under 12 minutes. The next briefing is already waiting.